wanted to ask you quickly, just before we come to Mr. Agese, just quickly, do you think it was appropriate for the president to have been on a red carpet yesterday on his condolence visit to Dapchi and even Yobe State?
I think that we had bigger issues to deal with, of security of life.
Language is extremely important. Do you think that a red carpet is appropriate?
I'm saying to you that I'm not a protocol person. I don't know what is the meaning of red or blue carpet. What I'm saying to you is that we are dealing with big issues of safety.
Nigerians are raising that. I mean, they are asking, the president broke down and cried in Dapchi, all with his red carpet reception
Maupe, the default position of Twitter is to be negative. So therefore, they are entitled to the negativity that has been expressed. Did the president focus on the big issues of life, of safety? He did.
Okay. Now let's come to Mr. Agase. While the president was in Benue, he was quoted as having said that he did not know that the IG spent only, and it was part of the complaints that was raised, amongst a number of other things. Is it comforting to you that we understand that the IG has been queried and a response is expected in about 48 hours, if not less now?
Let me first of all object to my colleague referring to me as having come from the moon and acting my own script. Definitely the governor and the Pt.2 exchanged pleasantries with the president, but then they outlined some of the things I have said here. The governor had a formal speech which was sent to the presidency, and he read that speech, and that speech complained about chasing away the invaders, about taking care of the IDPs, 170,000 of them. He appealed to the president to stop the killings. So I'm not acting my own script. I didn't come from the moon. I was responding to a specific situation. Now coming to the IGP, that's why I expressed appreciation to the president for coming and for giving us a platform to air out our pains and our aspirations. When we say that the IDP, when the stakeholders say they spent 24 hours in Benue State and relocated to Nasarawa State, and when the people of the state said that some of the attackers were in Tungwa, the IGP went out as if to ridicule the governor, to say he was lying, that he went to Tungwa, he didn't see anybody. Few weeks later, his deputy in charge of operations arrested 4 people who he said were responsible for the killing of the policemen in Tungwa. So this shows that part of the benefits of that meeting is the kind of IGP that the president has. So if he has questioned him, well, the people will be happy. He should go beyond that. Is it comforting to you, though, that he seems to be acting on some of the things that you have raised in Benue? If indeed he queried him, we'll be happy about it, but we want him to go beyond that. We want him to address other issues. It's beyond the issue of just questioning, but we thank him for doing that. Well, what issues do you want him to address? There are 170 people now in the IDP camps. 170,000 in 8 IDP camps. Now these people are in extreme difficulty. In as much as the state government has tried to give them food and non-food items, our resources have been overstretched. 60% of these are children who have been thrown out of school. We want these people to return to school. We want normalcy to be restored so that the children can resume their classes. This is top on our list. We wish that there will be a response to this.
Mr. Shehu, I want to come in here because, yesterday during the president's speech, we saw him draw up some comparisons that some people would say, look, it's probably insensitive for the forum. He mentioned that, look at how we responded to this crisis as opposed to how the administration of Goodluck Jonathan responded to this crisis. And of course, that has been a major talking point, but was that the appropriate forum to raise that kind of an issue, that kind of politically charged issue in your estimation?
Well, the president is human, and he lives in the same environment as we do, and is also aware then of the kind of attacks to which he had become subject. And so therefore, and these attacks, amazingly, are coming from people who ought to be answering for all of the things that happened in Chibok. And so yes, it's understandable if they are loud in saying that the president should not have said this there. Yeah, it's because they probably don't want to be called to account.
But Mr. Shehu, in fairness, in 2014, we saw Lai Mohammed as as the spokesperson of your party at that time, very strongly and very harshly criticizing the administration for their handling of that issue.
Yeah, because
they are now doing the same thing. And what I want to ask you, APC, PDP. I mean, when Buhari responds to PDP, I'm talking about PDP saying that APC is a threat to national security, etc. They're copying your playbook. So what I'm asking you is, when the president responds, does it not take him off of his presidential pedestal to be transcendent, to be a leader above all parties, to be a leader above all of these things, and to unite people against a common threat?
Yes, it is his duty to do so. But you are dealing with two different situations. In 2014, when Chibok girls were taken away, in fact, the official position of the ruling party was that this was a northern conspiracy against a southern president. And they did nothing, absolutely nothing for 2 weeks. In fact, the harshest of some of the critics you have running their mouth on social media these days did not believe that any girl had been stolen from Chibok up to last year. I'm not going to mention that person's name. Up to last year, when 83 girls came back, he said it's not true that no girls was missing. And that's the same character now on Twitter saying, bring back Dapchi. So, look, let them go and sort themselves up. The president has a duty to look back, because if you don't know where you're coming from, you won't know where you're going.
What I'm asking you very clearly, though, is he ready to unite all parties in this country against a common threat? Can he do it, and will he do it?
Oh, absolutely, yes. In fact, the president needs the support of everyone. He cannot do this alone, and this is why all of the things that are playing out, we just mentioned the Benue and all of that. Nobody would just sit down and say that Buhari must know. If Benue State has an attorney general, why is he being paid if he doesn't charge anyone to court for threatening the peace of their own state?
We don't know how many people have been arrested. I think it's only people who have been arrested that can be charged to court. But let's quickly take your closing comments now, Mr. Agaze. What do you want? How do you want this to proceed? I mean, now that the president has come and gone, we have seen, we have seen the query of the IGP. Aside from that, what else do you think will help stop the killings in Benue?
I will be happy if my colleague here will convey to the president that he is the commander-in-chief. And we requested an upgrade of the exercise to an operation so that they could engage these invaders who are still in town. As I talk with you, 26 people are being buried in Okpoko today, who were murdered by headsmen. Now, after the president visit, yesterday, 4 people were also killed. So we need an immediate stop to this. Yes, we are all making our own contributions, but there is no disputing the fact that he is the commander-in-chief.
I'm totally afraid that, we have to wrap up now. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on Sunrise Daily. Time would just not permit for us to dig further into these issues, because you've raised issues on ethnic cleansing as well. But we have to thank you, Mr. Garba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity to the President, and also Mr. Tahav Agerzua, who is Special Advisor on Media and ICT to the Benue State Governor. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily.